Hi friends, I want to show you a fun project that we made yesterday at my Love to Stamp group meeting. This was a meeting for my downline, the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators in my group. I showed this a few weeks ago on my blog, and I know several of you asked how to make these paper flowers. So now that I've shown my group how to do it, I want to put a video tutorial on my blog for you to see. I learned this from my friend Jan McClurg. She demonstrated it at the regional seminar in Phoenix in January, and everybody just oohed and awed, so we knew this was going to be a hit. I started with 2 strips of Whisper White cardstock. They're 1 1/4 inches wide by 11 inches long. And then we're using the lace edge punch, and we're going to punch all the way down the edge of one side of both strips. I like to use my punch upside down, and so I put the paper in and I look up here at this end and I align the paper right up there towards the edge of the punch. And then I learned this great tip at our regional seminar also. You can catch all of your little confetti pieces in a powder pal tray. Then you don't have to clean up your whole stamping area. So when you go to do your second punch, you simply slide this up all the way to the same spot so that your edge of your paper just goes right to the edge of the punch. And the next step would be to take your 2 strips of paper that you punched and you're going to run it through the crimper. And I know this was really popular when I was demonstrating, when I started demonstrating years and years and years ago, and we haven't used it much lately, but it's kind of fun to get an old tool out and use it again. So you put the end in, and then I clamp it shut with my left hand and run it through with my right hand since I'm right-handed. And you can see that that's giving it a corrugated texture. And I run each piece through 3 times, and that gets them nice and pliable. After I've run it through 3 times, then I take my sponge dauber, and for this particular flower I used real red ink, dabbed my dauber in there, and just caught the edge like that so that the whole edge of the paper was red. Then you need to make it even a little more pliable, and so you just scrunch like this. Kind of gets any frustrations out, you know. So you scrunch it all up, and you give it a good wad. How fun is that? Okay, and then it's really nice and pliable. Now it almost feels like fabric. What you need is a circle of adhesive to start adhering the flower to. And I used our sheets of sticky pages, and they come in 12 by 12 sheets. I cut them into 2-inch squares, and then this is our circle die. I know it's a little bit hard to see because it's all black, but I used the next to the smallest circle, and I placed my sticky paper on there and I ran it through the Big Shot, and that gave me these circles to work with. So when you get this cut out, it's like sticky strip. There's a very flimsy coating on this side, and then there's a paper coating on that side. Now you could peel off either side to start, but I felt that if I peeled off the flimsy side and left this a little bit stiffer, it worked best for me. So I used the point of my paper piercing tool, and I peeled up just the red portion. You have to make sure that the sticky part stays down there. Nice. Alright, then you take one of your strips. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit so that you can see a little bit better. Okay, you take one strip, and I like to come in about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. That's where I start. And then you pleat, and you go all the way around, pleating like this, and you just keep going. And the more pliable you've made your paper with the corrugator and with the scrunching, the easier this step is to do. If you're getting some resistance, your paper probably isn't quite pliable enough. So I've gotten back to the starting point, so now I just come inward and keep going. Then I'm going to take the second piece and start here and just keep adding more layers. Keep going around. Okay, Okay, so then I've kind of used up my paper there and I don't have any more sticky, so I'm just going to grab my snips and snip that off. Okay, the snips that I don't have, let's use those. We can just use our paper scissors. Alrighty. So then we need to put a center in our flower, and what I used was a 1-inch circle and a corduroy button. So this is some of the printed paper from the Sweet Pea pack, and I've got my 1-inch punch. I'm going to punch out a circle, and I gave it a little bit of red on the edge. So that's going to go in the middle. Then we're going to use the paper piercing mat and the paper piercing tool. And of course you don't want to poke all the way through to your table, but you want to go through all those layers. Okay, and then you can grab a corduroy button. Is really cute in the center. That's fun to use, but you could use anything that has the legs that's going to let you go all the way through there and, all the way through and crimp it onto the back. Now when you're ready to put this on your project, you'll need to peel off this white layer to reveal the sticky. So what I do is I just lift up those brad legs so that this white piece can come off, and then I put the brad legs back down, but then I have a sticky circle to place onto my project. Okay, so let's do leaves now. Let me show you how I did the leaves. I took a scrap of old olive and folded it in half, and I normally use my bone folder, but I'm not seeing it on my table. Sorry about that. With the crimper, you want to put this in at an angle. So you're not trying to go straight. You want this to go at an angle. So now I have a crimped piece of paper. It's crimped at an angle. And then you want to determine which side is your fold. So here's my fold. And then I cut 2 leaf shapes out of there. And when you open those up, you just have really cute, fabulous leaves. How fun is that? And then on your flower, if you peel up a little bit of the white paper, you can tuck those in there just to kind of hold them until you're ready to use your flower on a project. But then you have a flower and a leaf ready to go onto your project. Pretty cute. You can also use the leaves from the felt leaves from the Felt Flowers kit, but if you're wanting to show people how to use the crimper in more than one way, this gives them the ability to use it in 2 ways, so that's kind of neat. So when you open this, it should look like that, because remember, you're cutting on the fold. To finish off the project, this little candy holder is actually 2 tag dies. So on the 2 tag die, it comes with 2 different sizes and shapes of tags, but we cut 2 of this one. Then we used the wonderful new vintage wheel and chocolate chip ink, and we just rolled across the top of the 2 tags like that. And then you can see I have sticky strip. There we go. I have sticky strip on one of them, just on the bottom. And then since there's already a crease on those, it makes this really easy to put together. So you just put your 2 flaps on top of each other and crimp it shut, and then you have this real cute shape. You can put a cello bag in there with treats, and then when you put your flower on the front and decorate it with some pink ribbon or any color ribbon, chocolate chip ribbon would look really nice, then you have a really cute treat. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for joining me.